Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jacek Sputnik here, and today we are going to talk about A7 Mark IV. I've been using this camera for almost a year, for last 11 months, and it's hard to believe it's been so long since the release of the much awaited camera. And I want to share with you some of the features that I really enjoy and appreciate after a lot of usage, a lot of sessions I made with this camera and my wife made with this camera, because we work as photographers and videographers. We are active. We are doing like 2-3 sessions per week, and this camera is really used. And I won't be talking about too much about things that are obvious and that like there are thousands of, probably, I don't know, maybe hundreds of videos about A7 Mark IV, but I just want to focus on the things that I appreciate, and then I think you would like to know if this is really worth of an upgrade. So let's start. First, let's talk about ergonomics, only about those things that I really appreciate and I didn't expect to appreciate them so much. So one of the things I really appreciate is touchscreen. Touchscreen was like present in Sony A7 system for a long time now, but it was only used to work with AF system. So you could set basically AF point, and that's practically it. Now you can use touchscreen with your finger, and home menu is touchscreen able, you know what I mean. You can set everything with touch, which is, I thought, not a big deal to me, because I was used to use all the buttons and joysticks and stuff, and basically like this is the system I use every day. So I was like, yeah, touchscreen is nothing great. But even the function menu here, and having access to function menu with touchscreen, with this touchscreen functionality, is something big to me. Not huge, but in some situations I found like joystick better and all the buttons better, but in some situations touchscreen seems to be faster. And that's what it is. Like when you work, when you are with your clients, when you are on the set, you want a fast access to all the functions you may need. So touchscreen is something I appreciate a lot. At the beginning I wasn't too happy about this switch here between photo and video mode, and that is covered under PASM, dial button. But now I really appreciated that you have this PASM dial button on the top and the switch between video and photo mode here on the bottom. At the first, it needed some adjustment, but after a while, I really appreciate it, and that makes A7 Mark IV a really hybrid camera. So ergonomically, those are the features that I appreciate the most. The feature I thought I would appreciate more is like this, blocked dial button here that you can program now. Not only correct exposure with it, but honestly, I don't use this lock at all, and I still use it as a exposure correction since I'm used to Sony system for many years, and that's what I'm stuck with, and I didn't even touch it too much, so so that's something I did not appreciate too much, but it's cool to have it there. Okay, now let's talk about more important things, which is image and internals. So again, not a like scientific test here, but something that I appreciate from a practical standpoint is new color science, improved colors in this camera. The difference between A7 Mark III and A7 Mark IV is not huge by any means. However, it is very visible, specifically when it comes to skin tones. I love skin tones in this camera, and this little improvement over almost a year of usage of that camera made a huge difference to us, and it made a huge difference in quality of the photography and quality of the sessions we are producing. So this is something really important to me. It's new color science, and you can see for yourself here on B-roll, like on the photos here, that those images look spectacular. And generally speaking, from a professional standpoint, it's just easier to work with those raw files and easier to correct those files that this camera produces. Okay, next feature that I appreciate a lot is improved and more responsive autofocus system. It's again not a big jump, not a big step up, but still it's way easier to work than on A7 Mark III. On A7 Mark III, it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, it's still a usable camera that I use as my second camera, and I use it a lot for interior photo shoots where I don't need to use autofocus almost at all. However, for client work, like to work with people basically, with faces and eyes, I prefer this guy over A7 Mark III by a lot. And again, not a huge difference, but from a practical standpoint, from a standpoint of a person that really uses that camera every day, this is a big step up, and really autofocus system is very responsive, specifically in video mode. You know, this eye tracking, face tracking, it works beautiful, but in photography also it is an amazing thing. Okay, and I left the most important thing that I was really surprised that I would enjoy so much, and this is the new chip that is inside. As far as I understand, there are two chips called Bion's XR. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a new, image processing unit in this camera, and basically what it means that if you have some noise reduction or some heavy processing in the camera turned on, it will work faster. However, that's not the only thing it impacts, because like I shoot only RAW and I don't need a lot of internal post-processing turned on. But to me, the simple thing as changing f-stop, as changing shutter speed, as changing ISO value, it just works faster. This camera is way more responsive than A7 Mark III. And you can see for yourself on B-roll that like the difference in between this camera is visible. But if you use that camera, it feels like it's like you switch the car, like from I don't know, like vehicle that can go only 100 miles per hour to a vehicle that can run 200 miles per hour. You feel the difference. It's just way better, way more responsive to the things you want to do, which is important when you work with the camera. Not only enjoy it on holidays or some trips, but you really work with that camera. You are on a set, you work with different people, and you really want to access things fast. So to sum up, when you add all these little things, all these little quicks, like better ergonomics, better autofocus system, better responsiveness and better image processing, and better skin tones, these things after almost a year happen to be the most important things to me. And this is a rhyme, that's stupid, oh, goodness me. However, just to sum up, this camera is a big step up, and it didn't look like that from the very beginning. It didn't look like a huge improvement from the very beginning, but when you add on top 4K 60 frames per second, which honestly, ultimately I love, and even the crop factor doesn't bother me at all, because like a lot of times when I work with slow motion, I work with details, not with like some big spaces, then it's like this camera is just made to work. It's a very, very, very good camera when it comes to this price quality price possibilities ratio. Guys, if you have some different observations and you want to share with other users on that channel, please don't forget to drop comments below, and please subscribe. That helps me a lot to keep the channel going. And sorry for the break I had recently. I just had to have a break from the channel, and now I'm back, so Sputnik is back. See you guys in the next one.